Good morning, everyone. Nathan here at All Properties Group on the Gold Coast. I'm coming to you live. I'm sitting in the office at the moment, and I thought I'd have a quick chat about what's been happening in the Gold Coast market over the last week. And you would have seen on the title, I've asked the question, have we seen a a recovery in the market, or things have started to stabilise, or are things continuing to soften? So over the last 7 days, we've actually seen across the board of majority of our properties, an increase in new inquiries. So over the last few weeks prior to this week, we've had a really big slowdown in inquiries. We were struggling for many properties to get 1 or 2 inquiries a week, let alone getting multiple people through inspections. Last weekend was probably the first sign. I had 2 properties that had 6 and 7 inspections on them. And that was a really, really good sign that the market is probably starting to get a little bit more confidence back into itself. This weekend's going to be a really big telling tale. Unfortunately, the weather's probably going to work against us this weekend, but throughout this week we've had an increase in inquiries across the board. So even across our $4 million and $2 million listings, and as well as our sub $1 million listings, there's been an increase in inquiries. However, what we have found is that buyers are still taking their time. They're no longer feeling that they have to make an offer or they have to inspect you straight away, because their understanding, if you listen to the media in the marketplace, their understanding is that there are less buyers in the market, so they don't have to rush anymore. So that has affected the level of interest we're getting in regards to placing offers. We're not getting multiple offers on every single property every single time, but we're having a good amount of interest again, which is good to see. And I'll give you an update next week to let you know how things went this weekend throughout our open homes as well. But obviously with the interest rate rising last week, I think it was, that did give a little bit of a scare for that first week for the sub $1 million properties. That's where majority of finance buyers are living at the moment. But anything above $1 million, obviously that hasn't really affected it, and they're just kind of waiting, I guess you'd say. There is obviously talks of another interest rate rise next month, which is going to be interesting to watch. I've been talking to a lot of people in economics, in valuers, in the banks as well, that have been mentioning that there should be a start to slow down on the interest rate rises. There shouldn't be multiple 50 basis point jumps for the remainder of the year. They should start to slow down as they start to see that inflation number come down as well. But I did read an article yesterday which I thought was quite interesting, and I think it's going to be a really good idea for you, anyone that's watching, and for sellers out there that are trying to work out what is actually happening in the marketplace, or buyers that are expecting these massive drops in the market, is that we have yet to see sellers forcing themselves to the market or having to come to the market because they can no longer afford to live in their home. And I think that's probably what the REB has mentioned in the past when they started raising interest rates, is that they know that people have saved more money during COVID than they ever have before. There has been less travel for people to spend money on, and people are cashed up ready for this sort of impact. You know, yes, it's scary having our interest rates and our repayments rise, but majority of people are cashed up and are waiting, have been ready for this to happen. So we haven't seen that. We haven't seen a duress sale or someone had to rush to the market because they can no longer afford to live in their home. And we know that is what's going to unfortunately drop the market if that does happen. But Australia has held up well so far. We'll watch and wait and see what happens. But, you know, we can see Sydney's always one step ahead, and their auctions have been performing a lot better over the last couple of weeks. They're starting to get more consistent sales again, and that's going to filter back up into Brisbane, who was not anywhere near hit as hard as what Sydney was, regardless. All right, so that's sort of giving you an idea of what I'm seeing. But the big test is going to be spring. Now, the Gold Coast has always been the best place to buy and sell during spring. We always see an increase in demand from buyers, as well as an increase in stock for those that have been holding off, ready for that usual spring selling season. Now, there are still properties that are sitting on the market, so the question mark remains when there's a new level of stock or new influx of new stock coming to the market, whether the buyer demand is going to be able to keep up. If that doesn't keep up, then we might see the market continue to soften. But if we're able to get an increase in stock while the demand as well has increased, we should continue to see more demand than supply, which is exactly what's continuing to happen right now. We should see the market stabilise even further, heading up into the lead up to summer and to Christmas, which will be quite an interesting period to watch. Probably the one thing that I'll be saying to people is, if you are considering selling, and I've said it every single week, I genuinely believe that now is the best time. If, for example, in Pimpama right now, in Gainsborough Greens, for example, there's probably 50% less stock on the market than what there has been previously, even during COVID, right? So there's been a massive decrease in new stock at the moment in there, and the demand is still really, really good. You know, we've got, now tomorrow I'm bringing 36 Yatla Street in Gainsborough Greens to the market, and we've done our pre-list, and we've already had multiple inquiries wanting to inspect the home, and I have no doubt that's going to go really, really well. 39 Kalgoorlie Street that I sold recently in Pimpama, 5 days on the market, we had 12 offers. People below 1 million, and when there's a lack of properties to choose from, are still paying premium dollars. You just have to make sure, as a seller, you're doing everything right. I've sort of got a video coming out shortly that discusses this, but buyers no longer want to buy a home they have to paint, or they have to move in and replace kitchens or bathrooms or renovate in any sort of way, because tradies are hard to come by. It's not easy to renovate anymore. It's not easy to build a home. So if you've got a property that's near you or that's been recently renovated where people can simply move in, they're the highest performing properties that I'm seeing right now on my books. But that gives you an idea. For me, things have been traveling really well. Tomorrow, we're going to see 36 Yatla Street, as I said, come to the market. On Monday, I'm staging 24 Kalgoorlie Street, which is an amazing, amazing 4-bedroom home in Gainsborough Greens. Perfect entry level, $650,000 entry price to get into the Gainsborough Greens estate. That's going to be phenomenal. And I've got some sales still in the pipeline. 27 Emmaville in Ormo, Jacobs Ridge Estate, went unconditional, 845,000, 3-bedroom plus a study with a pool out the back, an older home. Fantastic result for the sellers. Congratulations. And obviously 28 Waldorf Street, 1.499 million. That's getting ready for settlement in the next 8 weeks as well. So congratulations to everyone involved in those couple of sales. Enjoy your weekend. Yes, it's raining outside, but do what you can. And if you have any questions about your specific marketplace or what you should be doing as a buyer or a seller in this market right now, please get in touch. My number's just below on this side. Talk soon.